connect. Good evening, everybody out there in Chester County. Coming to you straight live is none other than Brother Fonz, and we're talking about City Town Talk. Now, I don't know if you have been sleeping under a rock for about the last 3 weeks, but man, we have been having some exciting guests on. And tonight, I want y'all to just fasten your seatbelts because you haven't been on a ride like you're getting ready to go on now. I hope y'all like my background because we know that is phony. I'm actually in my bedroom and I didn't make up my bed. I ain't want y'all to see my bedroom. I'm using a different computer than I usually use because I don't want no hesitation, blips, or anything. So I'm going to see if the one upstairs is a little bit better. I have noticed with all the streaming and the zooming and on TV and all these other things that there's little hiccups and glitches and things of that nature. You'll see people freeze and all that kind of stuff. If I move my head a little bit, you can actually see the background of my bed. So I won't move my head. But I got an exciting guest on tonight. And what I'm going to do, Jan, is I want to keep track and see if we have anybody that comes in that have questions. Hey, all my listeners out there, if you got comments, you want to say hi to Jan or whatever, or you got some questions, or you just want to just say hello to her, feel free to do that because that's what this is. It is an interactive broadcast. The beautiful people, you can see her smile already. It's going to be a great evening. And look, I'm not going to say anything else. No, I am going to say something. For those of you, I usually always say a little something about my guests before they go on. I've known Jan for a few years, right? And every time I see her, she has a briefcase or a car full of flyers of all the things she's doing for everybody, especially the kids. She's always got something going on. I don't know how she does it, where she gets the energy from. I don't know if she drinks coffee, what's going on in her life, but she never gets tired. Man, I am so appreciative. I'm so glad that you're on too. So Jan, what we're going to do, you're going to introduce yourself and you can just start telling people about yourself. And every now and then, I'm going to stop you so we can acknowledge some of the viewers. How about that?
I love it. I love it.
So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Jan Michener, the one and only. Jan, take it away.
Hi, thank you so much for having me with you tonight, Fonz. I'm Jan Michener. I'm the founder and executive director of Arts Holding Hands and Hearts, AHHAH for short. And I started AHHAH back in 2013 at the Chester County Youth Center in Pocopson. And we started with trauma-sensitive yoga and creative writing programs for the youth at the Chester County Youth Center, which houses a shelter for homeless and abused girls and the detention center for both boys and girls in Chester County. And when we started one of our first writing workshop, I had 4 girls in the shelter, and all 4 were from Coatesville. And what they wrote so touched my heart deeply that I said, we need to make Coatesville as our base and see how can we stop the youth in Coatesville of entering our juvenile justice system. And we started with a grant that we brought trauma-sensitive yoga and playwriting, after-school playwriting to youth at Scott Middle School. And when we were there, we were called in and asked if we could come and do a workshop at Cowan Elementary School. This was back in 2013 because children in kindergarten were being suspended. And when I found out kids in kindergarten were being suspended, it was like one of those aha moments where my heart stopped. And I said, we need to not only reach youth that are teenagers, but we need to get them before they even reach school. If we can stop the flow of youth into our juvenile justice system. And we started a family storytime yoga at the Coatesville Library for families and children 5 and under. And while we were doing that, we met one of the directors at Head Start. And that's how we ended up getting into Head Start. And now AHHAH brings over, it brings our Storytime Yoga, our Dance With Me, and our Read to Me program to over 400 children in Head Start. And as we kept developing what we were doing, I kept researching, and I found out that children in an impoverished home on an average are exposed to 30 million less words by the time they're 5 than a child in a middle class home. So AHHAH was the one in 2015 that spearheaded the pop-up lending libraries that you see all over Coatesville, the brightly wooden, they look like giant birdhouses. And we community, we worked with Bob Beggs of Good Works, and we worked with different art organizations back when Art Partners Studio was there, and different Girl Scout troops, Boy Scout troops, of building and painting these pop-up lending libraries. And we worked with the school district where we got one in front of each of the 6, it was at the time 6 elementary and 3 middle schools, so that children all over Coatesville would have access to books. We've since expanded that program to Kennett Square. And we worked with the Longwood Rotary that made donations, and the Kennett Historic Arts community of painting them, building them. Jessica Hall is an amazing Girl Scout that earned both her silver merit badge and now her gold merit project, where we worked this year, even during this pandemic, with the Habitat for Humanity. We've just built 2 more, and she is painting them, that in June, hopefully we will be opening back up. We will be installing 2 more pop-up lending libraries in Coatesville in the Habitat for Humanity communities. Since we started that campaign, and we call it PULL, for Pop-Up Lending Library campaign, we have collected and distributed over 95,000 books.
Jan, just give me a second. 95,000. I want to acknowledge some people. First of all, Shannon Kirk says she just loves those little lending libraries. She said her son has used them several times. So Shannon, your son is one of those 95,000. Nelson Ojeda and Cass Rowland is on set watching, and so is Talia Coleman. Let me ask you a question though. You're talking about those pop-ups. I read where Coatesville has 25 pop-ups and Kennett Square has 27. How come Kennett has more than Coatesville? I don't get it.
Well, Coatesville will have 27 also, June. They should have had 27 equally, but because of the shutdown, we were not able to install the new ones. But okay. Also, Coatesville has over 50 indoor pop-up at different locations. Our goal in 2015, where Jeanette Marcus was on my advisory board, and it was the Coatesville Centennial. And while we were standing there watching the kickoff of the Centennial, we saw all these little children running around. And Jeanette had just seen an article about lending libraries in barbershops. And she said, wouldn't it be great if we got them in all the barbershops? And I said, what if we got them everywhere? And so our goal was to get 100 of these free lending libraries in 100 different locations in Coatesville during the Centennial. And when we first started it, Fonz, everyone said, oh, you can't do that. This is Coatesville. People will steal the books. We need to get surveillance cameras over them. And I said, they can't steal the books. We're giving them away. And then it was amazing how once we kicked it off, people came up and said, how can we help? And different people have done donation drives for us, getting books. And then we also, when we get donations, financial donations, what we do is we buy brand new books through First Books, and buy books that honor diversity and build social emotional skills of understanding emotions and how to cultivate and create kind and compassionate community. And those are the books that we buy, so that there's not just used donation books, but brand new books. And then 3 times a year, we would give each of the 400 children in Head Start that we bring our Read to Me program, brand new books. And I wish you could see the children when we give them these brand new books. It was like it's as if we've given them gold. They will clutch them to their, and the teachers would say, we've got to put it in your cubby. You'll get to put it in your backpack and take home at the end of the day, But it's where we believe that it's so important to reach out and to children, both to read to them. And that's one of the things that we're doing right now, Fonz, even though we can't be in the schools right now. AHHAH is still doing live Zoom programs. On Tuesday, we do with Miss Amanda, who is amazing. She started when we started in 2013. She was a mother with her child, and she was pregnant with her second child in our Storytime Yoga at the Coatesville Library. And she loved it so much. She said, how can I do this? I want to be a Storytime Yoga teacher. And we got a grant through the Chester County Fund for Women and Girls to pay her to go train. And she became assistant. I got more funding. She became, became a full teacher, and now she's our director of AHHAH Children's Yoga Programs.
Okay, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath right there, because I know you got a lot to say, and we don't want to use you up real quick, because you mentioned Jonette Marcus, and of course, Jonette Marcus, who is one of your biggest fans, she's on here, and she says she's loving my backdrop. I think I'll keep that, Jonette. We got Talia Coleman is watching. Puerto Rico, who is always with me, she's watching. Nelson Ojeda has 4 hearts and 100 hundreds, and saying you're great. Quentin Brown is watching. As all QB, it's good to see you, man. And that is good. So yeah, Jonette is here. I was wondering where she was at. So look, get back at what you were saying. Go ahead.
Well, I want to say thank you to Jonette. Is that also, if you go to AHHA's Facebook, Monday through Friday, we have bedtime stories at 7 o'clock. And Jonette has been one of our volunteer readers every night, reading a story. And then on our website, and it's www.AHHAH, and it's AHHAH. So it's AHHAH. And there's up at the top, it says videos. And so you can click on bedtime stories, and there's different stories, different people reading the stories. And so at any time, you can share a book with a child through AHHAH.
Let me ask you about AHHAH. Where did that come from? That is so strange. I love what it means, but who thought up the words and that phrase AHHAH?
AHHAH, and it stands for Arts Holding Hands and Hearts. And I have been a teacher for over 40 years. And back in 2012, for 8 years in Philadelphia, I was with Philadelphia Young Playwrights and the Philadelphia Theater Company, and I led playwriting workshops at the inner city schools, and then also ran a program called Hands Across the Ages, where I brought seniors, citizens together, and teenagers together to share their stories and to pick an issue that they wanted to give voice to and give it back to the community for what was called Philly Reality with the Philadelphia Theater Company. And my last year in 2012, I was working with the Philadelphia Senior Center and World Communications Charter School, and they picked bullying in schools and that we need more arts education, not more guards with guns. And their piece that they wrote together and presented, created a theater piece, was called I Am Living. And they presented to a full packed audience at the Suzanne Roberts Theater in Philadelphia. And afterwards, in the talk back, young and old shared how they had either been bullied at school or been a bully, not realizing just the impact of our words to hurt a person's soul. And they became advocates right then to stop bullying and to also be advocates of the importance of arts in our schools. Well, 3 weeks later, they closed 3 of the inner city schools where I was teaching. 3 weeks after that, they took away the funding for the arts in the other schools. And I said, if you do not believe that children in poverty deserve an arts education and you're just going to funnel them into our prisons, then we need to go into the prison systems and bring our programs there. And the director of education at PTC said, well, we don't do that. And I said, well, I guess I'll just have to start my organization and do it myself.
There you go.
And that's how AHHAH was born. And I get up early every morning and I pray and I meditate. And so I just quit my job, and my son had just been accepted to college, and my husband is saying, what are you going to do now? And I journal, and I'm like journaling, and I'm like, okay, God, what do I do now? And literally the AHHAH came across the page, and I'm like, AHHAH, what's that? And literally it was like being channeled, arts holding hands and hearts. And I was like, well, I guess that's my new organization. And I teach 6 a.m. yoga. So I went to teach that morning. And after class, I said, so can anyone get me into the prison system legally? And there was a woman in the class that had never been there before. And she goes, well, I'm a parole officer. Do you know about Chester County Youth Center? And I said, no. And she goes, you need to contact Carrie Avery and Joe Frankenstein. And I said, what is this? A horror film, Carrie and Joe Frankenstein? And she goes, no, contact them. I contacted them that day, and the next week, AHHAH was there, and we've been there ever since.
You are truly, truly amazing. Okay, look, well, Shannon has something else to say. Shannon says, thank you for what you have done, because reading is knowledge, and that's so true. Taletta Stokes is watching. Taletta, good evening, and thank you for coming aboard. Corday Green, it's good to see you this evening. Thank you for your viewership. And now let me ask you a question. Why did you choose Coatesville as your main base?
Well, because we started at the Chester County Youth Center, and as I shared, after the first writing workshop where I had 4 girls in the shelter, and they were all from Coatesville, and I will always remember Serena, who wrote, I am the daughter of a teenage mother who was a daughter of a teenage mother who was a daughter of a teenage mother with no father inside. And her great grandmother was my age, with over 65 grandchildren, great grandchildren, and great great grandchildren. And I was like, and I was like, what is happening here? I need to be in Coatesville. Is if we're going to make any change. And also, when I found out over 40% of the youth that end up in the Chester County juvenile justice system are from Coatesville, I realized we need to, if we can make any kind of impact, how can we stop the flow of youth in Coatesville into our juvenile justice system? And I said, this is where our base has to be.
Good stuff, good stuff. Now, all right, so look, how can people volunteer with you?
Well, one way is, is we did close up all of the pop-up lending libraries the 3rd week of March, because we had been also, we partner with the Kennett Library and the Coatesville Library, and we felt that it was not safe to keep having books out in circulation. But we hope to open back up in June, and we love people. We need people to help adopt the different stations to become the stewards of them, that once we open back up, to check to make sure that the station itself is in good condition, but also to make sure that it's stocked with books. And we have, right now, our donation station is at the Trinity Episcopal Church down in the basement. We're looking for another place that we can store books. I just got a wonderful $700 donation from First Books, and was able to order 20 boxes of new children's books, many of bilingual children's books as well. Need to be labeled and distributed in the poll stations. We also need donations. We do the Storytime Yoga. We do a Dance With Me program for Head Start children. That's on Thursdays. We Zoom it at 9. And then we do the Read to Me and the bedtime stories. We're always looking for people to volunteer to record and read stories that we will post on our Facebook and on our website. We are also, I'm very, very excited and grateful to Westminster Presbyterian Church. And we just received this week an endowment grant for a new program we're starting at the Chester County Youth Center called Cultivating Change. We've been leading cooking classes there for about 6 years. And now what we're doing, we're also partnering with, we have raised beds and they grow vegetables for the Chester County Food Bank. We're going to be this year growing herbs and different spices and peppers. And we're creating spice blends with the youth in cooking classes with recipes, and also with our writing program, stories of memories about attached to food and family. And we're creating a cookbook called Cultivating Change, Recipes and Stories from Youth Who Are in the Juvenile Justice System. We will be selling these spice blends, spice mixes, and our cookbook at farmers markets and at different specialty stores. And the money that is raised from the sale of these spice blends and the books will be going into a restitution fund at the Chester County Youth Center for youth that are in the juvenile justice system, that will go to help pay off their debts. And so hopefully will shorten their time in the juvenile justice system, while at the same time they're learning skills of both entrepreneurship, of cooking skills, of writing skills. And our goal is that in another year, we will have a space to also offer these classes, cooking classes and writing classes in Coatesville, so that when youth that are returned and reintegrated back into the community will able to continue this, and that eventually they will be our teachers in Coatesville.
Okay, hold that thought right there. First, I want to say good evening to Tanisa Hines. How are you, Tanisa? Hey, Pastor Dutton, how are you this evening? Now, Nelson Ojeda, who is the king of our Latino community, he would like to know, do you have any books in different languages?
Yes.
Yes, Nelson, she's got it.
I got it. I just, with this 300, it was a $700 grant. I've already ordered $350 worth. It's free books. I just have to pay for the package, the postage. The second 350, I got 350, and I sent pictures of the poll stations in Coatesville, and I said, we need more books, bilingual, and specifically books in Spanish. And they sent me another $350 gift certificate. And that's what I've ordered, is boxes of children's books in Spanish that as soon as we open up, they will be out there.
And will you let us people in the community know when they arrive, or let me know so I can put it on my page and we can let Nelson know?
Absolutely will. I've got in my garage right now is I got the first pallet of 750 pounds of books there, and that my second 350 that I was waiting for Spanish books that just came up last week. I just put that order in, and with the COVID, it's taken between 3 to 5 weeks. So I'm hoping thumbs up that I will get them by June. And when I get them, I will need the community to help me label and get them out there.
That's good. Now,
you say, take a book, read a book, leave a book. But our whole thing is, if you don't leave a book for a year or 2 years and you keep it in your house and you keep reading, that's what we want.
that is okay. That is okay. You know, it's really important about reading, because you know, they say reading is a direct correlation to going to prison. I mean, if our children can't read by 2nd or 3rd grade, that's where that pipeline opens up, and we lose a lot of children like that. But I want to also say, you are creative to take what you did with salt and pepper and pickles and all that kind of stuff, turn that into a cause celeb, you might want to say. You turned that into where they'll be growing, drying herbs and spices, writing poems and stories related to memories of food and family, and they're going to do all that, and it helps them shorten their jail time, to, you know, for lack of a better word. And it's so creative, and it's so thinking outside the box.
Well, and also what it is by sharing, and you know, we could just do the recipes, but we already have 2 books out called Justice Restored: Stories and Poems of Youth that are incarcerated. And what we believe is, by sharing our stories, stop looking at youth in the juvenile justice system for the mistake they made, but also find out what happened to them that allowed this to even them to happen. But by sharing the stories, you break down the walls that divide us, and we're able to build bridges. And it's only when the community comes together and we work together can we change our criminal justice system into a restorative justice system.
Is there an amen out there in the audience? Pastor Dutton, I know you got one for me. Nelson, I know you got one for me. Waverly Holmes, good evening. Thank you for coming aboard. This is so exciting what you're talking about. Now, I'm gonna tell you the truth. You got some people here that's saying, this is awesome stuff you're talking. I was trying to tell them, they just didn't know who was coming tonight, because you are a ball of inspiration, energy, motivation, and the whole 9 yards. Let me ask you, what has been some of the biggest challenges that you've had since you've been in Coatesville with all your initiatives?
My biggest challenge was when I first started in 2013, that I'm not from Coatesville. And when I came in and I said, you know, Arts Holding Hands and Hearts, they were like, well, we don't need another arts organization. We got Art Partners Studio. We don't need a theater group. You know, we have the Coatesville Cultural Society. And I said, well, I'm not just that. Is where we combine the mindfulness, it's all trauma sensitive, with creative writing, with literacy, because also is I've done a lot of the mental health training and about trauma and how it affects our ability to learn, and that when we've had trauma, our amygdala part of the brain that controls our fight, flight, or freeze is always firing. So we flip our lids so we're not able to respond. We're always reacting. And I said, we need to come in with that first of you know, and the big resistance also was, I was saying we were coming in with yoga, but back then yoga was seen as some white soccer woman's, you know, activity, rather than as a way of our bodies hold our trauma and hold our stories, And what we do is trauma sensitive movement, breathing, teaching skills of how to calm the amygdala so the prefrontal cortex can connect, so we can choose our reactions and respond, and always instead of reacting, so we can be more mindful and create what we want to do. And it's also about, through the self-regulation and self-awareness, then we can build the social emotional learning and the safe spaces where we can share our stories. And
you got me calm already over here. But wait a minute. Just put a comma right there. Okay. Shania Bowman, it's good to see you. Walt Washington, welcome aboard. Lori, my special person. Nelson Ojeda, he's one of my biggest friends here. He said, this is the real deal, Fonzuson. He thinks you're the real deal. You convinced him. But wait a minute, your buddy got something to say. I'm going to read it. Jonette Marcus, she says, literacy proficiency in Coatesville School District is very low. We all must pitch in to increase reading levels in our community. Well, Jonette, Jan is doing her part. Trust me. Okay, back at you. Go ahead.
But it's when I first started, everyone said, you're not going to last 6 months. We're in our 7th year now, and where it was about persistence, and where I just kept saying, okay, well, just tell me someone else I need to meet. And I would just go and share and talk. And our whole thing is about, it's not about AHHAH. It's about all of us working together. And we believe that the more we can partner and the more we can collaborate, the stronger we will be, especially since we're all working with the same children and the families. Is let's not compete. Let's come together. Let's partner. How can we have the strongest impact in our community and build a community around collaboration, around caring, around kindness, around working together, so every single child has the opportunity to succeed, and not just to survive, but to thrive and be their highest capacity.
You know, you preaching right now. Now wait a minute. You done got me all excited, and you got people on the other end excited as well. Now here we're going to read a few things here. First of all, my friend Lori said hi. Lori loves everything that you touch. I remember when you first got here in 2013 as well. Pastor Dutton said, I would like to recommend a great book, Wounded Heart, Hope for Adult Victims of Childhood Sexual Abuse by Dr. Dan B. Allender. You may want to look that up.
I'm writing it right now, Wounded Heart.
It's a Wounded Heart - Hope for Adult Victims of Childhood Sexual Abuse. Ooh, man, that sounds like something deep. That's Dr. Dan B. Allender. Let's see who else we got on here. Right now, let me just give a pause for the cause. For those of you who are listening, and I want y'all to feel free to share these videos with other people that may not be on right now. What I heard you say, Jan, which I think is very important for our community as a whole, no matter what endeavor that we get in, you said people said you couldn't do it, but you didn't listen to them. You were persistent, even when people said no. You believed in partnerships and collaboration. And this is what our community needs. Sometimes if we don't all lack it, but if we have more of it, we can only reach greater heights. So for those of you who want to be entrepreneurs, who want to go to college, who want to be auto mechanics, whatever, if you listen to this video and listen to how a woman came into a town where I don't know if you knew anybody, but you was a stranger basically with a vision and an idea, and you didn't take no, and now it's flourishing. People giving you money to buy books, pallets of books in your garage, all these things. And I've seen your growth from the time when you first got here. Matter of fact, I got pictures when you was painting all kinds of stuff. I remember you from the beginning. So this is a lesson for our community at large, and this is what City Town Talk is about. It's about bringing people together, because I want to make Chester County smaller. Everybody else wants to make it bigger. I want to make it smaller.
I want Yes.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, it's about the more we build the bridges and find out and share our stories, we are more alike than we are different. And where we're different, we celebrate that. We don't fight it and press people away, but everyone has a gift and everyone has a story to share. And so how do we bring us all together so we can hear our stories and how we can work together to be the quilt, the beautiful quilt that we were meant to be.
Wow. You're almost gonna have me crying. You want to lighten up a little bit now. I'm almost tearing up over here. I'm supposed to be cool fines. That is good stuff. Bone Guy's on here. Oh, Bone Guy. She said, "Hi, Jan. You are awesome." That's your girl. I know that. I know. Bone Guy, you came kind of late, but you can catch the repost because we're gonna play this thing all over again. Jan, what would you like to tell all your fans and people and family and members of the community out there? This will be almost like our last. This will be like our last thing because I think we're almost coming to a close. Let me see. Have we covered everything? Is there anything else you'd like to share or tell the community?
Well, I would love to lead the whole, the community right now in a loving kindness meditation, especially with everything that's going on. We're not able to be near a lot of people that we love and that we care about. And so it's a very simple meditation that we share with all the youth at the Chester County Youth Center as part of our mindfulness program. And so it's what I invite is if it feels comfortable, is you can place one hand or both hands over your heart and just think of someone that you love or care about right now that maybe you're not able to be with, and just take a deep breath in and just hold them in your heart and then gently just sigh it out. And then gently, as I say that there's 4 phrases, and I'll say each phrase twice, and just imagine that person is sitting right in front of you, and just say the second time, you can gently say it out loud or to yourself, and just see them, and you're going to send them these loving kindness wishes. So taking a deep breath in again, seeing that person you love so much, and then gently send them the wish of, may you be safe and protected. Again, taking a deep breath in, may you be safe and protected. And then the second, may you be healthy and strong. May you be healthy and strong. May you be happy and content. May you be happy and content. May you be supported with kindness and know you are loved. May you be supported with kindness and know that you are loved. Take a full breath in and gently sigh it out. And then just give yourself a hug and feel them hugging you and know that they are sending you back the same wishes. Thank you.
Jan, I want to thank you for coming on this evening. Let me see, wait a minute. Let me see if anybody else got anything to say before we bid thee adieu. We got Marquise D. Hunt is watching. Thank you. Pastor Dutton said testimony drug addict at age of 12, now going to school for PhD. She said, I would love to be involved. Hey, Pastor Dutton, I would reach out to Jan Mitchell. What's the best way for a person to reach out to you that wants to be involved?
You can always go to Jan at artsholdinghandsandhearts.com, or just go on to our website. It's easy, www.AHHAH.org, and that's AHHAH is AHHAH, standing for Arts Holding Hands and Hearts.org.
No, wait, now here goes
I'm sorry. All right, www.AHHAH. There's 5 letters.
Try and say that 5 times fast. I couldn't do it twice. I'm telling you, that's all messed up.
AHHAH.org.
There you go. Now I got a new viewer here. 996 Head is watching. I gotta look you up on Facebook and see who you are. Jonette Marcus, she said, ditto Nelson. Oh, somebody said, Fonz new sign, you're making a big difference. I'm not going to try and read about me. Okay. Kim Pollard, it is good that you are watching, Kim. Charlotte Rogan, how you doing, cuz? So I got my cuz watching. Let's see who else we got out here. It has been an interesting night. I knew you were going to be a barn burner. And actually, Jan has more to say. She's really being bridled back. I'm pulling her back in because she's a talker, because she's a doer, and she does a lot of stuff. That's a whole lot of love and energy for the community. And I mean, you know, it's just beautiful. I want to thank you for coming on tonight. I'm going to replay this all night long. I want to put it on everybody's page and everybody's group because they need to hear some of the things that you are sharing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bid you farewell. I'm going to ask you to just click your photo off so I can talk to the community alone. And we'll talk soon. Okay, Jan?
Bye. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You're welcome. God bless you now.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. So Coatesville, Chester County, I'm telling you, it's God has blessed us with some dynamite people. Some dynamite people. And these are the people that I want to bring to you. I want to bring these people to you. And everybody doesn't have to be a professional and whatever, but everybody has a story to tell. I want to reach out to just regular parents, because to be a parent, you have to be above regular. Parents are regular people doing some extraordinary stuff, man. Extraordinary stuff to raise a child and all that. Forgive me. Now Thursday, I want y'all to come back at 8 o'clock. I got another special treat for you. You think that was something? We're going to take it all the children she was talking about. We are going to go back and we're going to have Miss Reese Turner on, creator, developer of Reese's Soaps. I'm only guessing at her age, but she's got to be anywhere between 12 and 14 years old. I think we need to hear her story and encourage her, because she's going to be the inspiration. I'm going to say, so we can inspire her, but she's going to inspire us, because if she can do it at her age, we want to learn what it took for her to do what she's doing. We want to talk with the parents to see what part they're playing in their daughter's entrepreneurship and success. And we need to come out and say hi to this young lady on Thursday at 8 o'clock. We get on here for everything else. So now what we're doing is we're trying to bring people to this community so we can grow and learn together and love each other. Hey, look, how y'all like my new background? If I move my hand like that, it disappears. But I'm in my bedroom. I'm using a different computer. It's coming out better than the one I had downstairs. That whole lot of hiccups and stuff like that. I want to thank y'all for viewing, man. God bless y'all. May heaven just smile on y'all, because y'all some great people out there. I love y'all. I love where I'm at. And I want you to remember that Coatesville's rising and we all matter. Peace out.